Now, unfortunately, we're getting into some really dark stuff here. It's gonna piss people off now. Like I got into racism as in practice. What has been done by these two religions. One thing, let's see how these two religions, generally speaking, treat the unfaithful, converters. Prior to 1792, generally speaking, if a Christian converted to another religion, they were burned. Now, modern times, separation of church and state, people are free to change and abandon their religion without government reaction. However, they're not free from community reaction. And if you doubt this, those of you who are Christians and say, oh, that's not, look at how non-Christian religions are treated, even in the U.S. There's a whole mess of religions. It's bad to be, which is why we're going to be going in a whole mess of religions. One of them is Muslim, but it's not the only one. We'll be going into all of them. And that really does make me sad. And it's one of the reasons I cannot consider myself a Christian. So let's see if Islam and if the Islam followers, Muslims, are better or just as bad as Christians when it comes to this. Well, traditionally speaking, they're not much better. Death to the person following the wrong path. This is still practiced in some countries. There are, however, Muslims in the world who do not believe in this. Just like there are Christians in the world who don't believe in this. But historically speaking, in practice, Christians don't have much tolerance for anything that isn't Christian. And Muslims are equally just as bad. However, there are plenty of communities in the United States where Muslims have had a strong influence for 30 plus years. And do you know how many non-Muslims have been killed by a Muslim? It's a real big number. 0. I wish I could say that number was the same for Christians killing non-Christians in the U.S. Unfortunately, for the same stretch of time, it isn't. But in the grand scheme of things on the world as a whole, I'd say they're about balanced. This is something I wish both would stop. And we'll get into why both should stop There's when we get into going over Islam real quickly, like we're doing comparison right now, but we'll be going into Islam purely in a little bit here. We'll get into that. And when we get into Christianity, we're going to get into that too. Yeah, it's the same thing. Unfortunately, so yeah, that's related.